Hi, I'm Matt Browne. I'm a senior fellow at the Center for American Progress, a think tank in Washington, D.C., the founder of Global Progress, an international network of progressive leaders, think tanks, and experts. And recently, I was a co-director of the Browne Institute Task Force on the renewal of democracy in the digital age. My work focuses on three broad themes: the future of progressive politics, the rise of populism, and democracy in the digital age. These three issues are intimately related. Experts often identify three key drivers of populism: economic, the growth of inequality and precarious work, leaving people believing that they no longer have a stake in society, or indeed for those doing well, that their children's future will be worse than their own. Culture and identity, a feeling that the world around us is changing too fast, that we have no control over our own lives or our own communities. Democratic, a sense that the institutions of government are captured by vested interest or just unable to solve the major challenges we face. All of these trends have contributed to an increasing fragmentation of social bonds that populist leaders manipulate by presenting themselves as the voice of the real people vis-a-vis a corrupt or illegitimate elite. Academics commonly debate which of these drivers is the most important, but in reality they interact with each other in complex ways and differ from country to country and from context to context. What is clear, however, is that in the age of social media, these trends are exacerbated. Social media are products of the attention economy. The platforms make money by accumulating our data, which they sell for commercial use, and use to target us with advertising on their platforms. The more time that we spend on these platforms, the more information they can gather from us, the more precisely they can target us with a greater number of ads. The algorithms they use to keep our attention are designed to feed us more of what we like to read and watch, and the content they push into our feeds tends to increase in its intensity and extremeness. This helps to retain our attention longer. The process creates echo chambers. We tend to see the same news and hear the same views on issues, which reconfirms or even strengthens our prejudices. The process also makes it easier for us to be targeted by politicians of all persuasions, as well as misinformation. The situation is further complicated because the online world is less regulated than other realms. It is a space where malevolent actors, at home as well as hostile actors from abroad, can act with relative impunity. We've seen this during the COVID crisis. Theories regarding the role of 5G masks in the spreading of the virus have had real-world consequences, with groups vandalizing and seeking to tear them down. Similarly, Chinese state media have been actively pushing the narrative that China is a crucial public good actor in the global response to the crisis, while others have been praising the superiority of non-democratic and authoritarian regimes in their response to and management of the crisis. Thankfully, during this time, we've seen a more aggressive response to misinformation and disinformation from the social media platforms. Facebook and Twitter have proactively removed posts containing false or misleading information about how the virus is spread and how it can be treated. They have also used their algorithm to ensure that official and scientifically verified information about COVID-19 is more likely to be viewed. The platform should be congratulated for these efforts, though it is still unclear whether they have gone far enough. Nevertheless, their action illustrates that they can act to ensure that information disseminated on their platforms is in the public interest. As we exit the crisis, we should begin a discussion about how this approach can be applied more broadly. Indeed, a duty of care was one of the top recommendations of the Browne Institute Task Force. We advocated that social media platforms be obligated to help create a functioning online public square. The report also made recommendations in two further areas: the reform of democratic institutions to make them more inclusive, transparent, and participatory, and initiatives to help rebuild social cohesion in increasingly fragmented communities. In both these areas, the COVID-19 crisis presents signs of hope for those of us who want to move beyond populism towards the renewal of democracy. First, for example, the countries that actually seem to be the best at responding to the crisis are democracies. But they are democracies that are more transparent about the information they are using to tackle the crisis and have mediating institutions that allow the public to engage. This is certainly the case for Taiwan, but also Germany. Even in countries that are struggling, such as my own United Kingdom, there are demands for greater participation from frontline service workers to be included in how protective equipment is distributed to ensure centralized plans are actually sensitive to the needs and capacity on the ground. In short, transparency and participation can improve both the quality of decisions as well as their legitimacy. Similarly, across Europe, we have witnessed countless scenes of communities coming together to keep up morale and support one another. Think of opera being sung from balconies or volunteer efforts to help those most in need. The crisis and the existential threat it presents might just provide the foundations we need to rebuild our democracies for the better. Progressives should work to ensure that we build back better, and that this opportunity is not wasted. I hope they do.